Hey everyone, this is Angela from Bake It With Love, and today we're making bread pudding, but we have a spin on it because we're going to St. Patty's Day. So we have Irish soda bread that we already baked a couple days ago. 2 days of letting it sit out overnight is perfect for the consistency because you've got some hard spots here. And if you love buttermilk biscuits or biscuit consistency, then you're going to be a fan of Irish soda bread. Anyway, this is what we're going to be doing today with our Irish soda bread and some Baileys with the custard that we'll make to go over this when it's all done baking. No Baileys in here if you don't want liqueur. Obviously, you can skip the Baileys. You're still going to have some wonderful flavors here. One of my things that's unique to me that I like to do, obviously I'm upping my vanilla that I'm using, my vanilla extract. I'll be using probably double what typically people use. I'm using a couple extra egg yolks. I like the added richness in my custard that's going to go in here for my bread pudding. And if you don't feel like using extra eggs, then you don't have to. And then also my raisins, I love golden raisins. They absorb water better, so they're a little bit better consistency, I think, in here. They're going to take in your bread pudding better. So I'll be using a combination of your normal standard raisins with your golden raisins called sultanas overseas and whatnot. So we're going to get started on this. I have a couple tablespoons, couple pats of butter already in here because I don't like anything sticking to my dishes. So first things first, I'm going to spread that in my dish here, and using my hands, I'm going to get messy. You can use a paper towel if you want, or just spray coat it. And then I've got to tear apart my bread. I like the look of the rough torn versus just dicing it, but you can do it either way. You can cut up your bread, you can pull it apart either way. So I'll be back when that is all in here. Okay, just FYI, we're doing our pieces about this big. Okay, so I've got my bread all torn apart. You can see I've got the excess here in my mixing bowl. I've strained off the boiling water that I soaked my raisins in for about a half an hour. Did another warm water rinse to get every little bit of stuff off of them so they're all rinsed clean. And I'm going to layer my my raisins in here, and they're multicolor. So I've got, you know, regular kind of brownish raisins with the golden light colored raisins. And I'm going to take about another third of my bread and go ahead and stick it in here. And another third of my raisins to layer that in there. And the last third of my bread is going to go on top. And then we'll mix up our custard that we'll be putting into our bread pudding. The last of the raisins to go on top here. And I push everything around so it's even in here. Down to the last one even. Set that aside, and then we're going to mix all of our other ingredients and pour it over the bread pudding. We'll start with 3 cups of whole milk. You can use half and half, or a combination of half and half with whole milk, or even like heavy cream and whole milk. We've got 4 eggs that we're adding, whole eggs, and 2 egg yolks for added richness. The heaping generous portion of a tablespoon of vanilla. My 1 stick or half a cup of butter is already melted and cooled so that it's not going in here super hot. And then a half a cup of sugar. And I love freshly grated nutmeg. You can use ground nutmeg. The right side helps. You only need a little bit of the nutmeg for extra flavor, but I'm a fan, so I use a little bit more. Then go ahead and whisk all of your ingredients together. Until your sugar is dissolved. You want to make sure everything's really well combined. And then what we're going to do is pour it directly over our layered bread and raisins. And this is one of those things that you could do in advance, because if you wanted to, you could pour this over and then let your bread soak in the refrigerator until you're ready to bake this. So we are going to let ours just kind of sit in this. Okay, so I have covered this with my sauce for my bread pudding, added a touch of nutmeg because I like the flavor. I'm going to set this in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes and then preheat my oven and get it going. Okay, as you can see here, the liquid is just under the top edge of my bread. So if you need to, you can add a little bit more milk to bring that level up, which is what we're going to do. If you had too much of your pudding, you don't have to use all of it. But I do want it right there at that lip on my baking dish. Use whatever size baking dish, typically like an 8x8 or a 9x13, whatever size will fit the bread that you're using. And I used basically a whole Irish soda bread loaf. So this wonderful baking casserole dish is exactly right. Okay, so this is our amazing Irish soda bread pudding, or bread and butter pudding made with Irish soda bread right out of the oven. Because we're using the Irish soda bread, it's a little bit drier bread than like if you use like French bread or something, or brioche. That's the word, starts with a B. Anyway, so I gave this a little bit longer in the oven. It came to a total of about 55 minutes, and it is absolutely beautiful. Gonna let this set up, and then we'll be back to make our creme anglaise with Bailey's and serve this up. Okay, so our bread pudding is out of the oven. It's setting up right now and cooling down. This is also one of those things that at this point it could go in the refrigerator and wait for later. You can warm it back up before you serve it. I have a half a cup of milk, whole milk, and a half a cup of heavy cream here. And combined, I'm going to put it in here and heat it up. So for the creme anglaise that I'm making, I have my half cup of whole milk and half cup of heavy cream heating here on my little induction burner. I'm going to take my 3 egg yolks, my half a cup of sugar, and 1 tablespoon of Bailey's Irish cream, and combine them while my other liquids are just whisk them together so that your egg and sugar and the Baileys are combined. If you don't want to use any liquor, use vanilla extract or another flavoring that will go well with our wonderful Irish soda bread pudding, or bread and butter pudding as it's called also. Just waiting for this to get nice and warm here, and then we will start mixing it in with our egg yolks. And the most important thing is we don't want the egg yolks to cook, although we do want them cooked enough so that they're not raw. We don't want them curdling. So I need my milk and heavy cream here to just start to bubble. So once I get a nice simmer, I will remove my milk and cream here from the heat, and then we can work on adding it to our Baileyed eggs. So that's got a little simmer going on. I'm going to let this cool down for just 1 second, and we'll be right back. We are going to add just a little bit into our mixture here. And ready to get it moving. Just drizzling it in. Let's get a little bit added so that it doesn't mess up our egg yolk there. Get it kind of tempered. We want the heat introduced gradually so that, like I said, we don't cook our egg yolks. We are going to continue to combine this slowly and gradually until it's all added in, and then we'll return everything to the saucepan and heat it up a little bit more on the stovetop there. That's combined nicely. Now we're just going to return it to our saucepan. Okay, we got the saucepan on low heat, and we're just going to stir it until our custard thickens. It's going to be like 4 to 5 minutes before that happens. And we want to make sure that we cook this on the lowest heat setting possible so that we don't, like I said, don't get curly legs. So. I'm going to keep stirring your Bailey's flavored Creme Anglaise for our sauce that we're going to drizzle over our Irish soda bread pudding. We don't want it to stick, we don't want it to curdle, so pay close attention to it for a few minutes. And we're starting to thicken up here rapidly, so keep a close eye on it, especially at that 3 to 4 minute mark. You can feel the difference when you're stirring it. You might have to scrape the bottoms a little bit in your saucepan. And if once it starts to thicken and you taste it and you want a little bit stronger Bailey's flavor, I would add another tablespoon of the Bailey's while you're still cooking it. So you can get that incorporated while it's nice and warm still and cooking. It's getting close to the point that I'm going to want to remove it from heat here. You see, when I'm stirring, I can pull it away from the bottom a little bit, very briefly. It's starting to simmer. That's a little warmer than I want it, but I have a really nice consistency. Beautiful consistency. My creme anglaise is done. Okay, so first off, we baked some wonderful Irish soda bread. I hope you watched that video because you'll be addicted to it too. But then we took our Irish soda bread and we made this Irish soda bread pudding. For those of you that usually make bread pudding, you might notice that the soda bread is a much thicker, denser bread. So this took about 55 minutes total, start to finish, in the oven. Then we have our creme anglaise, which is flavored with Bailey's. You can double the flavor if you want a stronger Bailey's flavor. Double the amount of Bailey's, that is. This is pretty mild, so anyone who doesn't normally like liquor flavored stuff shouldn't really notice it. And it's wonderful. Really good stuff together. I can't wait to dish this up. You can put both of these in the refrigerator and save for when you're ready to serve them. And you can heat your bread pudding if you want to. It's good cold too. So a lot of versatility here. This is a great dessert to make in advance. We like it during the holidays a lot. So hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please remember to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to comment too so we know that you like it. If there's some, our website has probably double the amount of recipes that we have up here on YouTube. So if there's something there that you'd like to see in video, let us know. We'll do it. And we're always so glad to have you here with us. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time.